Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Dev here, and today I'm going to be breaking down how I use the platform to book calls and connect with my clients, prospects, leads, anyone that is interested in wanting to connect. Now, this is useful because a lot of people are using a free tool like Calendly. A lot of people are using TidyCal. There's so many, you can go down the list, and the customizability, all of those things are super helpful. But today I'm going to be showing you the calendar system on my software, Just Automate. Now, the reason I want to share this is because there's so many different booking applications. There's so many different tools that we want to use for so many different reasons that we want to connect with people. It's so helpful to be able to see all the different ways that you can use this and how you can make it look really, really nice. And so just for context, if people want to book a call to learn more and to experience a demo firsthand, then they have a certain link that they can go to book a call. Now, those questions are going to be very specific to the software. It's going to ask, do they currently have a business? What stage are they at? Is this the right tool for them? And so we can ask those questions to really make sure that this is going to be a good fit for them. Now, alternatively, I also have a podcast, as you guys know. And this week, we're actually talking about the 6 basic human needs to feel fulfilled in every single day. And I'm going to have a link in the comment section for that. And I think the goal here with this is that if people are looking to get onto my podcast, the questions that I'm going to ask for that is going to be very different. I'm not going to ask them about their business. I'm not going to ask them how much they're willing to invest in those sorts of things. I'm going to ask them questions tailored to the podcast. How many episodes of mine have they listened to? Are they familiar with who my audience is and what my mission is? What do they want to share in specific? Do they have a free guide that they want to offer to my audience? So I'm going to ask different questions. And then again, if there's client calls, book calls, if I want to have a coffee chat with friends that I haven't really seen, yes, I'm at that point where I need to put things on my calendar, even if it is just for phone calls and chats and check-ins with friends. But yeah, if I want to just have like a nonchalant coffee chat call, I want to have a link for that, then I can do that. So today I'm going to be breaking down how to build out a very simple calendar, how to connect it with all of your emails, your Zoom account, so it's already auto-populated, and we can go through and do all of that fun stuff. So if you're excited, comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's dive in. So we're going to navigate over to the platform, and then first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to settings. We're going to come over to calendars. And then we're going to go to connections. And now we're going to see this page here. So you're going to see calendars, video conferencing, and Google organic booking. So this is brand new. Really cool that they've added this. I haven't actually set this up yet. This is probably within the last 24 to 48 hours. So again, Google your business. If you are on Google and you have a Google business, this is one of the best ways that people can find your booking links if they're going to search on Google. I was actually sharing this the other day. I'm in Timmins now. This is a new city for me. I've never lived here before, but Jess, she has a house here. And so when I came to move in with her, it's just very interesting because, of course, I want to get a haircut. Need one pretty soon, actually. And so I just searched up barber shops in Timmins. And I went based on the Google reviews. We don't realize how often we do that until we do it. And then we're like, oh, wow, Google is such a big thing. But we're not doing that for our business. You know what I mean? So, with getting set up with Just Automate, we're going to show you how to set up your Google business, how to get reviews and use SEO to start showing up more organically. And here is just a brand new, fantastic way that you can see that we can even book in with Google. So video conferencing and calendar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a calendar. So you can see it's pretty simple. I just click add new. It's going to prompt it. And I'm just going to log in. This one's already connected, so I'm just going to use this. Then we can see here linked calendar. We're going to go ahead and add this to mine. Right. So now anytime that someone does book in, you can see it's actually going to go straight to my calendar, which is really nice. And then I have conflict calendars. So that means this is going to read my calendar. And if they see that I already have something on my calendar, then they're not going to be able to book in as well. So this helps, again, being efficient with being on your calendar. So I put almost everything into my calendar. If there's things that I'm doing, recording days, if I have calls already, Even other things too, like if I'm going out for a walk, if I'm going to see family, like I put those things on my calendar so that way no one can book in time. And of course, I can stay as efficient as I can be, knowing that these are the things that I have planned out, allowing me to be more intentional with the time that I am spending with doing whatever it is that I'm doing. So calendars, it's all connected. I got my Gmail here. It's linked. It's checking for conflicts. We're going to go to conferencing. We're just going to add new. It's going to ask you what it is that you want to connect. It's just going to prompt you to log in. Very simple. You can even connect it with Calendly. Wow, that is pretty cool. Again, brand new, as you can see by the beta feature there. So we're going to go ahead and connect all of that good stuff. Now that you have your calendar and your video conferencing connected, now we can go ahead and create a calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new calendar. Now you have the different options for what type of calendar it is. So you have a personal booking. This is just one-on-one, which is really cool. You have a round robin. So if you get to the point when you do of having multiple employees, say you have multiple sales reps, for example, and you have people that are taking calls on your behalf, if there's multiple ones, having to distribute which person gets certain calls is very difficult. And of course, this could lead to favoritism and all of this stuff. So by setting up a round robin, it's automatically going to distribute your appointments amongst team members in a rotating order. So that's super cool. If there's onboarding, sales calls, things like that, it's going to rotate through all of your people. You have a class booking. So this is more of like one host and multiple participants, which is cool. I've never actually seen this feature yet or used this. And then there's collective booking. So there's multiple hosts, one participant. Really cool stuff. We got to explore more. So event calendar and service bookings. So you can see there's also so many different types of calendars, but we're going to just keep it simple for right now. And we're going to do this. This is going to be, we'll just say like booked call calendar, booking call link, booking call link. So simple. I have me, of course. So we'll just create a custom URL for that. It's going to be 30 minutes. That's fine. And then Monday through Friday is fine, but I definitely am not taking calls at 8. So we're going to do 11 to, let's say 11 to 3. No, we're going to go 11 to 2. Simple. And hey, if you actually do maybe have like a payment for your call, for example, some people offer like sessions, like audit sessions or specialized sessions. You can also select right here and select how much you want them to pay before they could book in. So I'm sure some of us have seen that already where it's like you have to pay before you can book in. You can also do that on the platform. So I can go ahead and put in my amount, put the description, and then it's going to ask them to pay. It's going to prompt them to pay. Once they do pay, then it's going to allow them to go ahead and book in. So super cool, very intuitive, and very useful depending on what it is that you're doing. So again, this works for so many different people. So now you can see here, I've gone ahead and created the new booking call link. So I'm going to edit calendar. Here's where I can throw up a logo if I want to have like a logo or anything in particular. If you remember Calendly, it's always on the top left. So you can put that there. Let's see if I've got anything handy. I'll just throw up a photo here. Maybe that won't work. Let's try this. Okay, so the first one did work. Cool. So we'll just throw that up there. Booking call link. Group is fine. You can also have group offerings, which is pretty cool, but that's fine. We're just going to keep this super simple. Meeting location is on Zoom. So as you can see there, already connected. We've got a nice color for it. Nice. We're going to go to availability. So if I wanted to have certain days off, I can change my calendar as well. So if there's certain days, I like this option as well. So look busy. So I can actually put in like 10%. And so it's going to hide the number of available slots by X%, which is cool. There's always a stigma around this. It's like, when you go to book a call with someone and you see their calendar is completely open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night and there's 0 book calls over the next 2 weeks, it's kind of like, okay, so you're not really talking to many people, right? So by having something like this, unfortunately, we are in a day and age where these things do, matter. You can even add this, so then it does look like there are certain blocks blocked spots, and so people can't book in at certain times, leading them to actually book in. Ever since we started implementing this, we actually have had an increase in book calls. Just funny how that works. And then you can see here slot intervals. So how long is the actual slot? So we got 30 minutes, 30-minute duration, minimum scheduling notice. So how long do we want them to be able to book in advance? I would hate for someone to book in as I'm doing this recording, you know what I mean? So we really want to have in some scheduling notice. I usually have sometimes one day, or I'll have like 4 hours. So that way I'm like well prepped. I don't want someone to book in and I'm unprepared. That's the worst thing that can happen. So by giving yourself, at least a minimum scheduling notice, it's going to allow us to really be prepared, be sharp, and make the most out of those calls. The worst thing that you can do is have someone book in. And I know like some people are like, oh, I just want to have my calendar open all the time. People can book in whenever. It's like, yeah, that doesn't really work. Because when it does, and you get someone who's like really on it and ready, and you're not sharp because you just decided to do whatever and then just show up to the call, it's not going to go good. Date range, I usually like, 4 or 5 days out. That's healthy. You don't really want anything more than that, because if people are booking 2-3 weeks out, they're probably not going to show up. You'd rather wait till them to be closer. If you need to edit it for someone in an extenuating circumstance, fine, come in here and just update it, but 5 is healthy. How many bookings? You can also put like how many like calls you want to have. And so it is healthy to do that as well. Getting to a point, and this is my own experience from my last business, I was taking anywhere between 6 to maybe 8 calls every single day, Monday to Friday. And it was fine for a little while, but like, 6 to 8 months of 6 to 8 calls every single day, you get exhausted. And so, really being able to maximize this, and other people have other commitments too. So if you have other commitments and things, you really can't afford to just be here all day for it. And of course, now that we know the power of automation as well, you can use a lot of the automation to just move things forward for people. So that's also very helpful. And of course, maximum bookings per slot is 1. If you do actually have other employees as well, or other people that are available, you can actually bump this number up. So that means multiple people can book in the same slot if you have multiple people taking calls. Really cool. And then you have the pre-buffer time. So I always like to add in, maybe like 60 minutes. So, or maybe like 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So that way, as soon as I'm done my call, someone can't just book in. So I'm call. I need to have some buffer time. And so I like to add in at least 30 minutes of both ways. So I get a call booked. Someone cannot book in 30 minutes before that time, and someone cannot book in 30 minutes after that time. So it has to be a full 30 minutes after for the next available booking. So I like that a lot. We're going to click save at the top here. And we get into forms and payments. So here's where you can actually connect a different form. So as we were talking about before, if you do have other questions that you want to use, because with this, to the degree on how clear you are with your forms is to the degree of how qualified a person may or may not be as they show up to your call. And so by having a detailed form, you can ask the right questions coming in. For example, how did you find this link is a great question, right? So how did you find and book in? Did you come from YouTube, podcast? Was it a guest on someone else's podcast? Did you see one of my videos on YouTube, right? Like was it a DM? Was it from Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn? Where is it? Did you come from an ad? So knowing where those leads are coming in from is so helpful for us as we're trying to track these things and stay on top of it. Knowing the minimum investment, right? If they've ever invested before, if what they're looking to get out of this call, you can ask so many different questions. I like those ones for sure. I like to get the telephone number as well. Telephone number is great if I want to call them or text them. And then you can kind of go down the list with other questions. So feel free to get creative, right, with what other forms you might have. So you have different forms. This one is just a default. So you can see his first name, last name, email, phone number, and then notes. So any additional notes. I've created some other custom ones that maybe we can take a look at another time. And then of course we have the consent checkbox. I like this a lot because of course through these platforms, you do want to make sure that you have consent. Just by a little checkbox, I confirm that I want to receive content from this company. This is going to help you in the long run because a lot of people don't have that, and then they just start sending people emails. Then when you get unsubscribes or when people start putting your emails in the junk and these things, it really hurts your deliverability. So here's something that in the long run is going to continue to help your deliverability, your show up rate, and all that good stuff. And then the confirmation page. So as a lot of people know in Calendly, with the paid version, you can direct people to a specific URL. With this, I can do it no matter what. So I can just go ahead and put in the URL. Now, if you are running meta ads, you can also put the pixel ID in to be able to track that people are going to that page. Super, super amazing. You can do that. But for right now, we'll just call it default. Thank you for your appointment request. We'll contact you shortly to confirm. Please call our office at contact method if you have any questions. This is pretty standard. Of course, you can always tweak this. I always just say, thanks for booking in. Super excited for you. You'll receive some follow-up reminders leading to our call. You have any questions, you may respond back to this email. Simple, fine, good enough. Auto confirm, that's great. And again, accepting payments, no problem. Then we're going to get into notifications, which is really cool. So here's where you can see all the different things. So you have email. So if you want to add email, we will want to add email, of course. I don't think I have my email connected to this, but looks like it's going to work. So who's going to receive this notification? Contact, assign user, and additional emails. So this is really cool. So now I can build out like a whole template as well. So additional emails, we don't need to send this. This is basically if there's like other people, but this is assigned user. So this is going to be me. And then I can go ahead and build this out. So I can create a template from this as well, or I can just use the pre-existing one, which is pretty sweet. A new appointment has been scheduled with contact name. Please review the details below and confirm the appointment. So really cool that I can get that. And then of course the contact, they're going to get this as well. Hello, contact name. We've received your appointment request. We'll confirm it shortly. Here's all the information. So here's the meeting link. So that's the Zoom link, time and location. And then the title is whatever it is for them. Cool, right? So, and then here's your subject as well. So we're going to enable this so that way we do get the emails. Of course, you do have the ability to have the application as well, the mobile application. So we can enable that and you can see that there. So now for appointment booked, we're going to get emails for the confirmation. We're just going to go down and just enable this for everyone. We'll just do the same thing. All good. Close this. We can also do cancellation, reschedule, reminders, and follow-up. So reminders we'll want to do, of course, for everyone, because we do want to make sure that they are getting that. And then the follow-up is thereafter. So if we want to direct them to Google or anything like that, I always like to follow up because the way that I've set up my automations, and you can learn more about that by going to itsklazalhouse.ca/justautomate. But the way that I've set mine up is if they have a demo call with me and they purchase, they're going to get a tag and it's going to negate the follow-up anyways. If they don't get that tag, then they're going to get followed up because they don't have the purchase tag. So everything really talks to each other and it makes it very intuitive and efficient with being able to send and automate receiving messages. So cancellation or reschedule policy, you also can disable the functionality of if they are going to reschedule or not, which is really cool, or cancel the meeting, how many minutes or hours before the meeting as well. The last thing I hate is when people 5 minutes before the meeting cancel the meeting. So you can, prohibit that by saying they're not even allowed to cancel the meeting, or they can only cancel within the first within it expires an hour before the meeting or something to that effect, right? So that's really nice. Rescheduling, same thing. Like, don't really want people rescheduling 5 minutes before. They'd rather have 1 hour before, and that's good. Now, what's really cool is the meeting notes. So this actually goes, so if people want to add this to their Google Calendar, for example, this is what goes into the notes, which is really cool. So you can add the phone. This will be their phone number, their email, the rescheduling link, and the cancellation link. So this will go for you. And then, of course, they'll get the other as well. So it's really, really awesome to be able to see that. And then here's where you can change all the different colors and all that jazz. So we're going to go ahead and save this. So now we have our calendar very nicely set up the way that we want to set it up. And so, of course, you're going to see here that you can actually just use this as the scheduling link. So now I can just send this to people, and then it's going to show my nice little logo, booking call link. Going to have the couple of days here. So like already you can see that there's only a handful of days, which is super cool. So we're going to select, and again, it's just first name, last name, email, notes, and the nice little checkbox. They can go ahead and schedule it in. So this is standard. It's nice. You can just book it this way. But to be honest, what I normally like to do is I'll actually go in and connect a domain and then just set up the domain. So that way it's just a page, right? So what I would do, for example, is I would come over to sites, say demo, for example. I'm going to create a new page. This is going to be booked call. Great funnel step. We're going to create from blank here. So we're going to do a full width. We're going to do one row. We're going to do a headline, and we're going to say book in your to connect with dev, right? So that's cool. Now we're going to add another green section here, another row. And now we're going to scroll down to find calendar. Cool. We're going to select calendar. That's the wrong one. We're going to collect booking call link. And then we're going to use, so you can use the redirect from the action builder, which is really nice, or we can go to other things just from the page itself, which is really nice. And so now what's going to happen is instead of using that like API link, you can actually just go to your domain. Like for example, if you went to trezahouse.ca/just automate-demo, it's going to take you to my booking page. So you're going to have a nice clean logo at the top, right? You're going to have the calendar booking availabilities, and then I can select the day and time. Now I did select the green color. That's why it looks a little bit lighter. And then they can put in their information and they can schedule the meeting. So really simple, really nice. And now it's not some like API link. It's trezahouse/demo, and I'll be able to see all the information that I need. So that's just the one piece to it. And as you can see, that's super simple, but we can actually take it a step further and we can come over to automation. We're going to create a workflow. We're going to select a recipe, and we're going to go to appointment reminder confirmation. Now I'm just going to show you this for simplicity. Of course, I do actually have other pre-existing ones in my platform that I've already pre-built, but we're going to see here. So appointment status is confirmed, and we're going to say which calendar. So in calendar, it's going to be booking call link. So that means the booking call link calendar we just created, once the event is confirmed by the person, which if you remember, we actually have it set to auto confirm, then this is going to trigger. So now they're going to get a confirmation email. Hello, here's a confirmation. Add it to your Google Calendar, Outlook. You can cancel or reschedule here. Thanks. Now that's pretty simple and basic, as you can imagine, but it works, you know. And then you have here, we're going to add this. So it's going to be before 1 day before the event, right? We're going to send out this next email. Now, if you are A2P verified, you also can send out text messages. This is why I like to send out the text messages, because text will help your deliverability and show up rate. If people get an email sometimes, and I've experienced this too, you don't always get your emails right away. But text, something that I always get. And so I might not see an email, but I'll definitely receive a text. And so being able to be A2P verified, there is a little bit of a process to get that, but I can walk you through and show you how to do it if you are interested in it. And we get you set up here, and then you see 1 hour before email, 1 hour before SMS, right? And you get an internal notification if they booked in, right? Did they show up? And then they have a whole thing here on the back end to say, did they link? So we have a trigger link set up, and the trigger link is basically like where we can take any link that we want someone to click and we can create a trigger link. So this will track if they clicked it or not. And if they did, then they're going to come through here. If they didn't, then they're going to come through this sequence. So just to show you how powerful, the automation is, and this is just a pre-existing one, you and I can work together to make it even better than this. So hope this was helpful, guys. I just wanted to show you this because, again, we're at the day and age where a lot of people want to speed these things up. A lot of people want to have the tools to really do the job. And after being an online coach for the last 3 years, mentoring hundreds of people, helping people achieve 10 to 50K months personally, I know that there's a power in behind keeping things organized, having that peace of mind to stay consistent. And you can see here, even just with simple automations, how this could really move your business forward. So if you're interested, I'm going to leave the link below to check out the website to book a call with me. If you haven't heard the podcast, I'm going to leave a link there as well. The podcast episode this week is on the 6 basic human needs. Really powerful stuff. Appreciate you guys as always. And one more time, if you guys haven't, comment, like, subscribe. Really appreciate all the views. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.